Hi guys, I'm David and this is Jeanette. Together we are Low Range 4x4 Adventures. For the last few years we have been doing some epic trips to amazing locations across Australia. Subscribe and like our videos and hit the notification bell to join us on our adventures. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram.
So today everyone, we are doing the South Cape Bay walk. It's on one of Tasmania's 60 great walks. It's a walk from the end of Australia's most southerly road through the Southwest National Park. At the end of the track we will take in the view of South Cape Bay or wander along the ocean beach towards Lion Rock. This track is also the eastern end of the popular South Coast track. Distance 7.7 kilometres one way. Time 4 hours return, grade 3. I don't know what the grade means, but yeah, grade should be fun.
Grade 3 means the route is mostly flat and includes some formed earthen tracks and sections of boardwalk. There are some short steep sections and occasional steps. Dangerous cliffs, rough seas and slippery rocks exist at the end of the track. Please supervise children. So I should supervise Jeanette.
Oh, trust Dave to read the fine print. Anyway, let's go. It's a little bit of cloud around, but it looks pretty bloody nice today. A little bit slippery along this boardwalk. Normally they have chicken wire on them, but this one doesn't have anything, so got to be a little bit careful. Pretty little creek. I stopped before to take pictures of the little waterfall and David kept going, and I've been walking for a couple of minutes and I don't think he's missed me yet. I could fall off a cliff and he wouldn't even know. So I wonder how long it'll take him to realise that I'm not actually behind him still. I think he just wants to get to the ocean. Ah, here he is. Did you finally realise I wasn't behind you? I took a photo of the little waterfall.
Where are you trying to get through here with your big backpack on you?
And your walking sticks. So we are getting super close to the ocean, guys. We haven't seen it yet, but we can hear the waves roaring in. I think it's meant to be 75 kilometre per hour winds down here today, which is pretty breezy. We are so close. You can just see it now. So once you get to the ocean, it's still a bit further, isn't it?
Basically, once we get to the lookout at South Cape Beach, that's it. That's as far as we can go. And then we can see the most southerly point at Southeast Cape from there. But you can't get there.
Oh, hello. Good, how are you?
Where you going?
Good.
On your way out or your way back?
Okay, here it is, guys. Wow, it is beautiful. The cliff edge can collapse without warning. Do not go near cliff edge. It's good advice.
Hey guys, we made it, South Cape Beach. You can kind of just see South Cape between us in the background there. We've got a bit of other footage of it anyway, but you can't actually get to South Cape. There's no tracks, it's very dense bushland, etc. So this is as far as you can go, but that's it over there, guys, behind us. So it was a pretty cool walk. Lots of different scenery and stuff. The beach is beautiful over here. It's blowing its ass off, but hopefully you guys can hear this. The wind's not too bad right where we are.
Down to swim?
Maybe. You going for a swim?
I don't know.
We'll go and check out the water.
Did you bring your swimmers?
No.
Neither did I.
Looks like we're chunky dunking.
The water coming out of this creek is probably colder than the water of the ocean.
Yeah.
Because now my feet are cold.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, you can warm them up in the ocean.
So, yeah. Just going to take you for a little bit of a wander through the visitor information area. The office is closed. It doesn't look like it's been open for quite a while, but there is some quite interesting information on the wall here from like the Aboriginal people that lived here. History goes right back to 1792 when the French expedition pulled in here and did some studies. In the 1830s to the 1850s there was whaling, a lot of whaling, which is just too sad. The 1840s to 1939, so 99 years, coal was found in the forest. Then also in the 1840s to 1947, timber getters came and they felled a lot of trees which they built ships out of. So yeah, it's had quite an interesting history. A few different industries in the place, and the last resident here was Rose Adams. Rose's husband Walter died in 1967 and Rose stayed living here alone for another 40 years until she moved to a retirement home in Hobart in 2003. Rose died in 2008, several months after her 100th birthday. So I think we've actually seen Rose's house too, like caught glimpses of it from when we did our walk yesterday. Oh, actually Dave's pointing to it. The blue house.
Blue cottage, just over there.
Oh, right here. Okay. So this was Rose's view every morning when she got up. Why would you want to live anywhere else? It's absolutely beautiful. You can just see the roof. Amazing. So peaceful there. Tide's in or out? Oh, I can't tell. Water is so clear. Would look so much prettier if the sun was out. But that's what, a couple of meters deep then?
No fish in there.
No. Must have knew you were coming. You scared them away. So we have spent the last 3 nights camped at Cockle Creek campground, and we've done the walks that you've seen. So this morning we're packing up and we're heading off, but before we go I just wanted to have a quick look around the cemetery, which is basically a couple 100 meters walk down from the campgrounds. So Cockle Creek Historic Cemetery. Okay, so this area was originally set aside in the 1850s as a school reserve. There's almost 300 people living here, but the planned township never eventuated. The cemetery contains 12 marked graves and at least a further 10 which have since lost their markers. The earliest identifiable burials date from the early 1880s and the latest from the 1930s. So we'll go and have a look. Interesting, during the Victorian period, symbolism in cemeteries flourished. So an English rose or an Irish shamrock on a headstone signified where a person was from. Evergreen and tenacious plants such as ivy represented a strong spiritual afterlife. A handshake symbolised either the farewell or departure, a welcome on reunion, or both. On the headstone of the first Richard Motte is a machinery cog and an emblem of the French royal family. The cog could be related to the fact that he was transported for breaking machinery, and the fleur de lis because the headstone was paid for by Motte's French son-in-law. The oldest marked graves in the cemetery are those of Richard Motte and his wife Rosanna, who in the 1850s were among the first settlers here. Richard worked as a sawyer in the timber yards, and they built their house very close to where we are now standing. Richard died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. At one stage his son-in-law was accused of his murder, but there was no evidence to back accusations. The last person buried here was probably Jock Hardy. He was killed in the coal mine in about 1936. Only a couple of years later, all the mines and mills were closed, and most of the inhabitants of this area had moved away, leaving little behind, except for a few headstones to say they had ever been here. Many of the stories of Cockle Creek will never be told. So another interesting one was in 1908, a Mrs. Adams and her son Jack disappeared mysteriously while looking for stray cattle. Their bodies have never been found. Okay, so how do you pronounce that, Dave?
I think it's
Deontre Castro Watering Place, historic site. This side here is where 2 French ships came into. I'm sure there'll be some more information down the bottom in around 1792.
Yeah, and then they come back in 1793.
Yeah, so they were botanists, so they were studying down here. So one of the first scientific studies done on Australian soil.
Correct. Not that it was Australia then.
All right, let's go have a look.
The Great Southern.
This side here is where 2 French ships docked in 1793. The Esperance, despite strict rationing, its water barrels were empty when it sailed into the bay, which you can see out to the right. With the wind directing its course, it entered the Baie de Roche, I'm not even going to try to say that, the Bay of Rocks in English, on January 21st, followed by its sister ship, the Recherche. Oh, I said it in my head before and now I can't say it. Recherche. Can you say that word?
Recherche.
Okay. Dave can't say it either.
I don't know.
In a dramatic incident, the second ship ran aground and was stranded on the sandy bottom for nearly 3 hours before being refloated undamaged. So the French spent a lot of time with the local Aboriginal people. They did have a really good relationship with them. There was 42 Aboriginal people which they met on the 7th of February 1793. This meeting, which passed off with the greatest cordiality, provided a good idea of these people and made us hope that we might see them again, and thus obtain some information on their way of life, recorded Jean-Louise Ferron, a gunner from the ship Recherche. I'm going to have to find out how that's pronounced. Further meetings did follow, and gifts including axes, knives, medals, coloured scarves, glass beads and a rooster were presented. Fascinated French scientists took careful notes about the appearance of health, dwellings, diet, tools, clothing and vocabulary of the Aboriginal people they spent time with. Sadly, we read something up in the information centre that I think about 30 years later, most of that tribe
entire population.
Yeah, had passed away because of influenza and things like that were introduced by the French.
Yeah.
So
Unknowingly, they didn't realise that they'd brought this stuff to them, and then eventually it killed the whole tribe.
Yeah,
so.
Very sad.
So guys, a lot of you that are watching aren't subscribed to our channel, so if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Jump on there, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell and throw us a thumbs up. Questions, comments, the whole lot. Really enjoy it.
Would also like to thank Bevan, because he always has a little story about a lot of the places we've been to, things that from when he was there, and yeah, we just love
back
those.
in the 70s. He lived down here, and he tracks us all these stories all the time. They're in the comments of all our videos, guys. You can read them. So
yeah. And everyone else who sent us comments and that, we really appreciate it. Thank you guys. And also, if you guys would like to, please jump on to our website and have a look at the link to our shop. We've got some hoodies and t-shirts, everything from little baby ones right through to big boy ones.
That's it.
Yeah, and also we have our brands on there that we work with. Like, we mightn't necessarily get any freebies or anything like that, but they're just brands that we use every day.
Yeah, and love.
Yeah, that we find their gear is really good. So please, jump on there and have a look, and that would be amazing.
Alright guys, we will catch you on the next one.
Alright, stay safe everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.